Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to our MISAD Bulletin. And we shall start with our headlines. U.S. pushes Saudi Arabia and Iraq on a united front to counter Iran. Egypt pledges sacrifices of Western Desert police victims of terrorism will not go in vain. And moving on to our details, starting with the Syrian profile, the U.S.-led coalition said allied fighters captured Syria's largest oil field from the Islamic State group on Sunday. The SDF, with air support from the U.S.-led coalition, said on Sunday it captured the El Omar field in a swift and wide military operation. It also said some militants have taken cover in oil company houses nearby where clashes are underway. Moreover, the U.S.-led coalition confirmed the SDF had retaken the oil field. From another perspective, the Syrian Observatory for Human Rights said pro-government forces retreated from the area around the Al Omar field after coming under heavy fire from IS. In Case A, the U.S. Secretary of State Rex Tillerson pressed the Trump administration case for isolating and containing Iran in the Middle East and beyond, as he pushed for Saudi Arabia and Iraq to unite in common cause to counter growing Iranian assertiveness. Speaking after participating in the inaugural meeting of the Saudi Arabia-Iraq Coordination Committee with Saudi King Salman and the Iraqi Prime Minister Haider al-Abadi, Tillerson told reporters that an independent and prosperous Iraq would be a foil to Iran's malign behavior. He also called for the removal of Iranian and Iranian-supported militias from Iraq and urged other countries, particularly in Europe, to halt any business they do with Iran's revolutionary guards. On to Egypt, President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi said that the security sacrifices of security forces killed by militants on Friday will not go in vain. According to a statement released by the presidency, President al-Sisi, during a meeting with the defense and interior ministers as well as other security officials, received detailed reports on the incident. President al-Sisi also said that war against terror has a different nature than organized warfare. From another perspective, the Interior Ministry has said 16 policemen were killed and 13 were injured in a shootout with terrorists in Egypt's western desert. The ministry also said that 15 terrorists were killed or injured in the attack. On the other side of the world, Catalonia's separatist leader wants the regional parliament to debate and vote on how to respond to what he called the Spanish government's attempt to wipe out Catalonia's autonomy. In a televised address late Saturday, Catalan President Carles Puigdemont called plans by Prime Minister Mariano Rajoy to replace him and his cabinet an attempt to humiliate Catalonia and an attack on democracy. Puigdemont's comments came after he joined a large protest in Barcelona on Saturday, where many were aghast at the plans announced earlier in the day by Rajoy. Moreover, Puigdemont called Rajoy's move the worst attack on Catalan people and institutions since 1939. Meanwhile, in Rome, voters in the wealthy Italian regions of Lombardy and Veneto were deciding on Sunday if they want to seek greater autonomy from Rome. While the twin referendums are non-binding, a resounding yes vote would give the presidents of the neighboring regions more leverage in negotiations to seek a greater share of tax revenue and to grab more responsibility from Italy's central government. The leaders want more powers in areas such as security, immigration, education, and the environment. It's worth mentioning that together Veneto and Lombardy account for 30% of Italy's GDP and nearly 1/4 of the nation's electorate. And finally, sports news. Egypt's match against Ghana for the last round of the African qualifiers for the 2018 World Cup has been moved to Cape Coast instead of Kumasi. The Egyptian Football Association, EFA, said on Sunday that it had received an official letter from their Ghanaian counterpart informing them of the new venue for the match that will be held on the 12th of November at 3:30 p.m. Ghana time. From another aspect, Egypt have already qualified for the World Cup, lying top of Group E with 12 points, for more than second-placed Uganda, with only one game remaining after defeating Congo 2-1 on the 8th of October. And before ending our news, let's take another look at the most important headlines for today. US pushes Saudi Arabia and Iraq on a united front to counter Iran. Egypt pledges sacrifices of Western Desert Police victims of terrorism will not go in vain. And we reach the end of our MISAT bulletin for today. Thank you for joining us and see you tomorrow in a new bulletin.